So recording has started. I want to look at templates later. I can say is another way of concatenating. It's like another way. Now let's look at one or two things. An advantage of template later. Let's say I have a variable name. And name is, let's say name is Tolu. So, and I want to display with our knowledge. I want to say maybe my name is Tolu. I'll do it like this. Maybe alert. My name is plus, right? Abina, are we together?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this will give me my name is Tolu, like this. But we have another syntax that can give us the same results. That syntax is using backtick. Backtick is the symbol before 1 on your keyboard. If you are using a Windows system, before 1 on your keyboard. So I can write this like this. Instead of using quotes, whether single quote or double quotes, instead of using any of them, I will use backtick. This is not single quote and it is not double quote, it is backtick. I will say let's first do something. I will comment out all of this for now. And I will say I am a boy. I am a boy. Let's run it. You can see the result on the browser. I am a boy. It's working as though it is a quote like this. Having now. It's working as though it is a quote. Yes. But it has one advantage over quotes like this. And that is the way you use variable inside this place. See, any valid JavaScript syntax can be used here. What do I mean? I can say, so instead of saying I am a boy, I can say I am name. Now, this name will be string, but I want it to be this variable. So instead of using this plus to concatenate, we are going to do something. We can say dollar name. So once it sees this dollar sign and this curly braces, instantly it knows that, oh, you are about to write JavaScript codes here. So you don't need to use plus and all of that. First close it, then use plus, then now write variable name, then put another plus. Let's say I have variable school equals to, let's say, Lautech. So I want to display a result that looks like this. I am Taye studying in Lautech. So I can say I am name studying. Oh, instead of capital letter, studying in school. So this will just give me I am Taye studying in Lautech. Any question? Can we move on?
Can you go back to the code, sir?
Okay, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, well done, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Somebody want to join the class.
Oh, okay. Let me check if anybody is in the waiting room. Okay, sorry. You're welcome, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Okay. Any question?
I have a question.
You said?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm with you, sir.
Sir, why is it that dollar sign?
Yes, sir.
We normally use the dollar sign for the variables.
Yes. You know what happened is this. Imagine I want to display my name is Tolu. If I come here and I say my name is, let's first start with this Tolu like this. Of course, this will give me my name is Tolu. My name is Tolu. And now let's run it. My name is Tolu. But then I want it to be the value of this variable name. So I will say my name is name. But there is a problem. There is no difference between this name and this name. So this will just give us my name is name. How then do we tell JavaScript that the name here is a variable? So that's why you use this dollar sign. Whenever JavaScript sees this dollar sign, it now knows that you are about to write a JavaScript syntax and not, how do I say, with this dollar sign shows that you're about to write evaluate whatever is here as JavaScript codes, not as strings now, but as JavaScript codes, like as variables. I can put, in fact, I can do a lot of things here, and we're going to experiment with it. If I just put my name is name, this will just give me my name is name, because there's no difference between this name and this name. Do you understand? Do you get it?
Yes, sir.
So what we want to do is we want JavaScript to know that this other name is a variable. So what you're going to do is we just come here and do it like this. And when JavaScript sees this, it's known that, oh, this is a JavaScript syntax, not a string. Okay, I think that's better. It knows that this is not a string. Instead, evaluate this thing as JavaScript syntax. Can we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. You're welcome, sir. So this is template literal. What we are just doing is template literal. I can proceed to say my name is this, studying school, studying school. So this becomes my name is Tolu studying LAUTECH. So I don't need to start using plus sign, close it, open it, close it, and all of that. But note, this is a backtick. It is not a quote like this, not a single quote like this. No. No. If you use this, it's not going to.
Okay, so sorry, sir. Where did you say we can find that?
Before one on your keyboard.
Before one?
Yes.
Done. Before one.
So it's backtick.
Before one.
Yes, the before one.
That isn't me. That is under escape. I'm using MacBook, so I don't know.
Sir?
I'm using MacBook. Is it the one that is under escape?
Okay, yes, the one under escape. Yes, you are right.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on. Next is this. This allows, like I said, you can write a lot of JavaScript code here, not just variable. Let's look at some other things we can do. I can say generate a number. So I want to generate a number and I want to write JavaScript code here. I can say this means I can now write a valid JavaScript code here. My.random, and so maybe I want to float my.float. So this is going to generate O number. We've used something like this before now. So this will generate a O number for us. As you can see, we are writing valid JavaScript codes here. Oh, generated number 9. Generated number 7. 4. Any question?
No question, sir.
Okay, let's move on. It also has another advantage. The advantage is this. Imagine you want to use this. And I want to say, I want to do something like Tolu owns this. Okay, something like you said how are you doing? Like I want to quote someone. He said, how are you doing? One thing I can do is to use single quotes here. How are you doing? He said, how are you doing? I have to use, I can't use double quotes here, right? Because I've already used double quotes to open it. Are we getting it?
Yes.
So I can't use double quotes here because I've already opened it with double quotes. So I have to do something like this. Maybe use single quotes here. Or if there's single quotes, I have to use double quotes here. So imagine you are dealing with something that has exclamation mark. Then you have to be careful, start looking, is it double quote, is it single quote, open it with single quote and all of that. But this allows us to do that without stress. I can just say, he said, how are you doing? Do we understand? I don't need to be afraid whether this is single quotes or double quotes. It will still work fine. So let me comment down this. How are you doing? Although you can escape this, you can check that on your own. Escape in JavaScript. Escape is, you can escape it. You use escape with, let's say, let me just tell us a bit about it. Now I want to tell JavaScript that, see, don't take this as the closing part of this. In fact, in other words, I'm telling JavaScript to see this as ordinary text and not as the closing part of this. Do we get what you have to do? You want to inform JavaScript that this one, it should see it as ordinary text. So what you can do is I can escape it by using a backward slash. So that will tell JavaScript to escape this, meaning ignore it. It will just see it as ordinary text. In the same way also, I can escape this also, so that this will also be seen as ordinary text and it will give me the result we want. But all these things could necessarily, all of this doesn't make sense because I can easily use this to solve the same problem. I don't need to start escape this, then escape this again, just because I want JavaScript to ignore them. Do we get it?
Yes.
So you can read more on escape in JavaScript. Some of them you will see escape T, escape N, this new line, this is new line, this is new tab. Just read on that. Let's proceed. So another advantage, which, well, maybe it seems to be the biggest advantage now, what we want to check now, is this. Imagine this scenario. Imagine I have a variable. I have variable text or paragraph. Let's say P. Let's say paragraph. And this contains a lot of text. I am a boy working with limited. Then I want to go to the next line. You know, this is a paragraph. I want to go to the next line. Look at something. If I press enter, so that it can go to the next line, you can see that there's a problem. I already have a bug here. I can't go to the next line with enter. The only option I have to do is I have to keep typing till it goes to the next line itself. Do we get it? Do we get it? I can't just press enter to go to the next line.
Causing that box, sir.
You said?
What is the cost that you can't go to the next
reason is this. When you are using codes like this, you can't go to the next line. You can't press enter.
Why is it?
That's the way JavaScript. All of these places needs to be filled up with something. This can go to the next line now because I've already filled up with empty strings. But when you just press enter, it won't. Or again, you can use your escape. You can use escape to do that. But then, like I said, you may not necessarily need escape with your literal, with your templates literal. You won't need all of that. It will make your work so easy. You only use escape few times. So instead of doing all of this, which doesn't look sense making anyway. Imagine doing all of this just because I want to go to the next line. Then I can now say hello. So I'll say alert, color, something like it. Or let me use console log so that you see it clearly. So look at it. We have this. But let's achieve the same results using our template filter. We can say let me just copy this. Okay. Color equals, I can just use this. I am a boy. I can go to the next line now. Hello. And there's no problem. The way this works is the way you write it is the way it's going to get it, like the exact way. So this is going to work fine. And I can come here and say console log color. And then comment out this. So I have this. So you can go to the next line easily with your templates later. Do we get it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is that?
So I will get it.
Okay. So that is templates later. It was introduced as part of ES6. So while working, I want us to take this out of everything I've done so far. This is the summary. While looking at template later, please, it's very important that you get used to something like this. Please get used to this syntax. This dollar braces, please get used to it. Please, I'm begging us, get used to it. When using template later, I think this is what I'll be using it for the most. This is what we'll be using it for the most. Something like this. We put this, then dollar a variable name or something. Yes, a variable name. I can also have an object, and I can say name this tire. So I can now say obj dot name. So this gives me my name is Taye. Do we get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then yes, I think this will also help us to also understand something. Imagine I have a variable called num, and the value of num is 4. Or imagine that the value of num is coming from okay, look at this. I have a variable, the value of num is 4. I want to say num plus 3. I want to display a result that looks like this. Alert, I am num plus 3 years old. If I run this, what will I get? If I run this, what will I get?
You have 7.
Really?
No.
Hold on.
It will concatenate it, sir.
Good, it will concatenate it. I am
Okay.
43 years old.
Yeah.
I am 43 years old. That's not what we want. I want it to be 7 instead. So we can, well, there are different ways you can do it anyway. You can first say convert all of this to number, or use your eval. I think here eval will also do magic. Eval this. So this will give us what we want. I am 7 years old. But with your template filter, your work is so easy. Just say alert, I am num plus 3 years old. Remember, anything inside this place, inside this dollar braces, is seen as JavaScript syntax. So this is going to add them together. So this makes our work look so cool. So we have the same results. Any question?
No.
Okay. So we are done with templates later. Let's go to HOF. We are getting close to the end of year 6. HOF, which stands for higher order functions. Now, I want us to understand this thing very well, because when we get to React, we'll be doing something called higher order components. So let's take that. That one is called HOC, and it's a bit similar to HOF. Let's discuss this. A higher order function is a function. Let's get a function together. Is a function. This is a function that takes in another function as parameter. Interesting. Notice a parameterized function. Let's say this is var. I can call on this function now, my func. I can call on this function, then maybe pass any value here. Then I can say alert var times 3. So what we are doing here is we are calling on this function my func. We are passing 6 as the value of var, and is alerting var times 3. You know this will alert 18 Abi.
Yes.
But instead of taking a number, you know this is a number, you are sending number as the value of var. Instead of taking a number, HOF expects another function. Instead of taking a number or a string or maybe an object and all that, is expecting a function, not a number, not a string, but instead another function. And that's what makes HOF so interesting. HOF is a function that takes another function as parameter. So let's look at this. Let's look at one HOF together. I'll say, let's get another function. I'll say const second. Whenever I call on second, console log hello. Whenever I call on my func, console log hi. Let's take things step by step. Let's take things step by step. I'll first call on second. If I call on it, what will I see in my console?
Hi.
No, now I'll see hello.
Okay, you see hello, yeah, sorry.
See hello. So let's say 10. Var. If I call on my func, then and I put 10, I'll see 10. Let's proceed. Next, instead of sending this, we will now send this function as the value of this var. So what you're going to do is you come here and put second here. Do we get what you are doing? Remember, this is just a variable.
Yes.
I've been now.
Yes.
So you are sending this whole function as a parameter to this my func. And second now will now be sent as the value of var. Do you understand what is going on?
I'm confused though.
Okay. So understand what is going on. Look at it from this view. You understand it now. And in fact, that's what we want to do. You understand why we are doing this. Look at this. This is the value of second, right?
Yes.
Let's just come here and say console log second so that you see what is inside it. What do you think I'll see?
You see hello.
No. I want us to actually understand what is going on. This is different from if I had done something like this. This would trigger the function and do what is inside it. But I'm not triggering the function. I'm not calling on the function. If I had done like this, if I had done this, if I had written it like this would have triggered the function That is, do whatever we have inside this function and put the return value here. Can we still remember the return keyword?
Yes.
Okay. So when we call on this here now, it's going to do whatever we have inside this function, meaning this will print is console log hello, then it will return a value back to this place. And the value to return here is undefined because this function is not returning anything. Shall I not say return now? Okay. Are we confused? Please just pick up. Are we confused?
I'm still trying to assimilate.
Okay, we are not even explaining HOF now. I'm only trying to explain what I've already explained in one of our previous classes, the return keyword. When we did return keyword, we did something like this. Return it like this. And I explained to us then that when you call on this function like this, and you put this parenthesis at the front of the function's name, it's going to run the codes within that function. So it's going to console log hello, right?
Yes.
When it's done, it will return. Whatever it returns will be sent back to this place. I've been now. Can we remember what we looked at to return?
Yes.
Yes.
So 8 will now be placed here so that it will console log 8. So when we check the console, you will see hello and 8. Any question?
Okay, no.
But I also explained to us then that when a function does not return anything, it automatically returns undefined.
Undefined, yes.
So when you call on this here, it will console log hello. When it's done, it will return undefined here. So that this will now log undefined to the console. Are we getting it?
Yes, sir.
Let's now take, but this is now different. In this case, I'm not calling on that function. I'm only just showing the variable name. And when I say console log second, it will just console log this whole function. Not just this hello, but instead, because you are saving this whole function as the value of second, just see this as a variable name. Maybe it make, just see it like this. Variable second equals to all of this. So meaning that this is the whole value of second. Show you wala. Do we get it? Whenever we call on second, this is what we are calling on. All of this. In fact, for you to understand that that is what you are calling on, I will do something interesting to us, and I will say second. You will tell me the difference between this thing. When I say console log A, what A will give me and what B will give me, variable B equals to second. Console log B. What do you think A will give me if I check my console? What do you think line 20 will display? What would be the value of A? I think that would be better. What would be the value of A? Are we together? Oh, my network. Hello, everybody.
Hello, sir.
Oh, sorry, I lost my network. So,
No problem.
okay, let me share my screen with us again. Can we see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I said, what would be the value of A if I run this code? What would be the value of A? Okay, because of our time, let me quickly explain what is going on. On line 19, I'm calling on second, right?
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. So that will trigger that function, meaning it's going to console log hello. But whatever it returns will be assigned to A, meaning that the value of A will be undefined. Show you why. The value of A will be undefined. Do we get the reason? I think I've explained this before now. You can watch the video on return. When you call on this, it will do what is here. When it's done, whatever it returns now will be assigned to A. And since this function is not returning anything, so undefined will be assigned to A. So when I say console log A, this will console log undefined. Do we understand that part?
Yes.
But for the second one, I'm saying variable B equals to second, meaning that all of this now is being assigned to B. Everything here, from here to this place,
Yes.
is being assigned to B. So when I say console log B, it's to console log all of this.
Okay.
Do we get it? So let's check the
Yes, sir.
console and see the results ourselves. So this is for the A and this is for the B. Can you see that all of this now, everything here is
Okay.
Now what that means is
But that is not what. Is it everything that is there we want to display or just the hello?
no, that's what we are. You know, programming languages are very stupid. They don't think. They just do whatever you ask them to do. So what happens here is all of this now, because we didn't put parentheses at the front, it's going to assign all of this to B. So B is all of this. So that means that B is a function also, because this is a function. Do we get it?
Okay, yeah.
So I can now come here and trigger B. Do we get it? Remember, I'm assigning everything here to B. What you are doing is this. This is just, look at something. Maybe I should break this thing into two. Look at this. This is just a variable, and this is the function you are assigning to that variable. So we are saying that let B be this part. So if I say copy this and let it be the value of B, can we say that B is a function now?
Yes.
Okay. So that's what we are doing there. We are saying that let B be equals to second, and this is the value of second. So that makes B automatically becomes a function.
Yeah.
So we can now come here and trigger B as a function, but we can't do the same thing to A because A is not a function. A is just undefined.
Yes.
Okay. So let's now go back to our issue that we are trying to explain. Okay, let's just remove all of this. Okay. Let me change back to constant. Then, okay. So here we are saying that my func, we are now passing second, meaning that we are passing this whole thing to this place. Do you understand?
Yes.
So that makes var, because whatever you send here will become the value of this variable here, var. So that makes var a function also. Do we get it? Again, this is second.
Yes.
Second is a function. You are passing it here as a parameter to my func. And whatever you pass, it will be assigned to this place. So that makes var a function. Let's console it so that you see how var looks like. So this is a function. So we can now say var, we can now trigger var because it's a function. So this will now log hello to the console.
Okay.
We can do another thing again. We can say const third equals to, okay, let's say A, and I'll say console log A times 3. So we can now say my func third. So we are passing third here. Let me comment out second so that we just focus on third. So we know that this will be sent as a value of third is all of this is a function.
So line 19, sir. Also,
Is that
line 19, sir.
line
The
19?
console third equals.
Console.
Is it console or constant?
Thank you, sir. Const. So third is all of this, like all of this here is the value of third. So you are passing this function as a parameter to my func. So all of this now will be sent to my func as a parameter, and that becomes the value of var. So I can now call on var inside this function. I can put any value here. So this will now console log 18. Do you understand how it works? Again, all of this now, just look at this from this perspective. All of this is sent as value of var because all of this is third. So, and once I just put third here, it means I'm putting all of this here, and this is a function, not just a function, it's a parameterized function because of this a. Notice this a. It means that whenever I want to call on this function, it's expecting me to send a parameter to this argument. I've been now. Do you get it?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a parameterized function, and I'm passing this parameterized function as a parameter to this my func. So all of this now, this parameterized function will now be sent as the value of var. So that when I call on var, I can now put anything here. This now becomes the value of a, and it will do whatever we have here. So when I log this, you'll see 18.
So see 18.
Yes. See 18. Any question?
It's fine.
Okay. So this my func is called HOF. Is the higher order function. Is the function that is taking another function as parameter. So it's the HOF. Third is not HOF. My func is the HOF. It is the function that is taking another function as parameter. Do we get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this third that you are sending as the value of this var is called callback. So in other words, I can say that we send a callback as a parameter to HOF. This one, the function that you are sending as the parameter to this argument is called a callback. So this is a callback. Do you get the difference between them?
Yes, sir.
So this is HOF. This is the one you are sending to this place. This is which is this third. Is a callback. Now we also have what's called anonymous function. Anonymous function is a function that what's the meaning of anonymous?
Unknown.
Unknown, good. Anonymous function is a function that does not have a name. So let's do that together. It's a function that does not have a name. Let's look at an anonymous function together. Let's say I have a function. You see an interesting way of creating a function. Remember, if I want to create a function, most times we'll be doing it like this function. Let's say let's say ABC. We'll be doing it like this, right? And I can say this function should alert hello world. So whenever I call on this function, it will alert hello world that way. Just imagine that I decide to remove the name of this function. So this is an anonymous function. Any question? I'm expecting us to ask.
But this will not allow hello world.
It won't. Yes, that's what I want us to know. It won't, because we are yet to trigger the function. I've been now.
Okay.
it won't. But it's an anonymous function because it does not have a name. So how then do we trigger a function like this? So let's look at something interesting. Before now we've been doing something like this. Const ABC equals to this, and if you want to trigger it, we just come here and say ABC Abdina and put parentheses at the front. We can now repeat the same thing. Since we don't have name again, we can put our parentheses here. So when the page
Now your code
loads,
is on.
you said?
It's fine now. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. So when the page loads, it will automatically trigger the function. Do we get it?
Yes, sir.
But if I don't want to trigger the function, I won't put this. But there's a function here, just that I'm not calling on that function, but the function exists there. So why is this now important to what we are learning? Most of the time, when you see HOF, higher order functions, don't worry, I will soon stop. I think I'm even feeling it that I'm teaching too many things at a time. Const second. Let's bring back our second now. I will say our second should just bring in. I will comment out that. So I think this would be easier to explain an anonymous function to us. So this is called second, and now it looks like. And we know that when we put second here, second will it will be sent as the value of var, and this will alert. It will trigger var, and of course it will alert hello world. That is, you understand that part. Now we can now do something. Since all of this is second, I can just copy this. Then instead of writing second and put it there directly, does it make sense? Instead of us assigning it to second, I can just copy this because this is the value of second. I can just copy this part and paste it here. So I don't need this again. So that means all of this now, or this function, will be sent as the value of var. And this will now alert it. But this is an anonymous function. So I can first choose to name it a named function. We'll be using named function all this while, but some other time you will be seeing anonymous functions. You'll be seeing, in fact, anonymous functions are very common with HOF. So the anonymous function here is a callback. Remember, I've already discussed what a callback is, right? A callback is a function that you send to another function as a parameter to the argument of that function. Before now, we've done something like this. I've explained to us that. Okay, coming. Before now, I've explained to us that this second, if I put this second here, this second is a callback. I've been now.
Yes.
And this my func is what? What is my func?
HOF, sir.
HOF, good.
HOF.
Higher order function. But this second is a callback, that is a function that you are sending to another function as a parameter. So I can just copy this now and paste it here. So this is still a callback. So I don't need this again. Do you get it? So most of the, in fact, if you check callbacks online, this is what you'll be saying the most. And that's why I'm even telling us about it. So that when you see things like this, you don't get confused that kilo shell MB, what is going on? I don't understand what's going on. Why this? Why that? So you understand that you can choose to first assign it to a variable and use the variable name here. Or you just copy it and paste it here directly. So you don't need to first assign it to a variable. You might now ask that, when then do I use this? When do I use this method? When you feel that you will need this function again, if you think you will still need this function elsewhere, please assign it to a variable. But if you think that the only place you will need it is just inside this function, then there's no need wasting your space. Just copy it and paste it, like just type it here directly. Do you get the difference? If you think you will still need to call on this function again elsewhere at some other places, assign it to variable like this. But if you think that you won't, you just want to use this once, once and for all, then just put it here directly. Do we get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is a callback, and you are sending this callback as value of this var, and this will call an function for you. So how we explain one callback, one HOF. Then in our next class we continue from here. So let's look at one. The first one we are going to look at is called JavaScript has a lot of inbuilt HOF. That is, this before now, or according to what I've explained thus far in this class, we were the one that created this myfunc, and we're the one that created this second. Now we created it too. We created this and we created this.
Yes.
But JavaScript now has made our work so easy. It has a lot of inbuilt HOF, meaning that JavaScript has already created this for us. You are just to create the callback of that HOF. Do we get it? JavaScript has a lot of HOFs for us. A lot. Like something like this. Imagine I'm not the owner of this myfunc. So all I just need to do is to create what will be the value of this var. There's a particular way that it will always work. Like, the implementation of var, how var will work is inside this myfunc. Now.
Yes.
How var will work is inside myfunc. So our own work is to create this function, and it will work the way JavaScript has programmed it to work. Just create this function. If JavaScript says that, don't just call on var, maybe just says, imagine this, imagine JavaScript says, after this, first alerts, before calling on that function. So once I pass this to it will first alert A before calling on var. So there is a particular way it has been made to work. You just need to understand that way and pass whatever you want to do to it. So a good example of that is called the set timeout. You are not to worry about, you are not to worry about how this works or the codes of set timeout. It is inbuilt in JavaScript. The way your alert is inbuilt, the way your console log is inbuilt. This set timeout is an inbuilt function. But it's not just a function, it is HOF. It is a function expecting another function has its own parameter. So let's do that together. How we say, let's just comment out this and use our second again. I'll cut this out of this place and come here and say set time out. What is it expecting? What is set time out expecting? Hello?
Yeah.
What is it expecting?
A function, sir.
A function. Perfect. Thank you, sir. Is a HOF. So it's expecting a function. So you don't put a number here. No. Instead, you put a function like this. So this second is a function. So the first parameter of set timeout is expected to be a function. While the second parameter is a number. I will put it on. I will explain what this means. What I'm just saying here is this. Call on this. The way this set timeout has been built to work is that whatever function you put here, call on it after 2000 milliseconds. 2000 milliseconds is 2 seconds, Abby. Do you get it?
Yes.
So let me put 5000 here. It means call on this function after 5 seconds. So let's run it on the browser and see the results. So count 5 seconds and you will see what is inside that function. So good. Hello world. So the implementation of this has been programmed into JavaScript. All you're just expecting is for you to pass a function here. note, we are not passing it like this. Oh, sorry, we are not passing it like this. No, we are passing a O function, not just maybe a number or anything. We are passing a O function there. And we can also do this also. I can comment out this one now and paste this here. Remember, it's still the same thing, Abi now. We are just using anonymous
Yes, sir.
function. So you will see most of the time when you check set timeout online, this is what you see. And you may be surprised what's going on. It's still the same thing. And we still have the same results. Good. You can also use your ES5 function if you are more comfortable with ES5 function. You can use your ES5 function. So let's change this to ES5 function. So I'll just comment out all of these out. And I can say function second and alert L1 and it will still work fine. So instead of this, I'll put second here. Do we get it? We still have the same result. Good. Then you can also copy this. You can also create the ES5 anonymous function. That is a function without a name. So let's see. You can copy this and paste it. Yeah, but this time around you will remove the name, and it will still work also. I don't know if you've seen maybe codes like this online while working. Why you might be surprised why is it like that? So this is why these things are like that. So we've looked at one HOF. Another HOF is the set interval. The way the set interval works is that this set timeout only calls on that function once. But the set interval calls on that function at a particular interval. I will say instead of using alert, let me use console log. It's going to call on that function at a particular interval. Set okay. Interval is also HOF, meaning it's expecting a function. Then I can say call on this after this. So to call on it after 3000 milliseconds. That is after every 30 seconds. It will call on second. So that's on it. And that makes it to be different from set timeout. Set timeout only calls on it once. But this calls on it after, like, at that particular interval. I think we've used one of these in one of our work. Clear interval, set interval, Abi now. I think it's whether set timeout or set interval. I remember I once mentioned something like that. But now we understand how these things work and why they work like that. So we stop here today. In our next class, we are now going to look at those ones that were, you see the set interval and the set timeout. They've actually been introduced before year 6. But some HOFs were specifically released with ES6. They were released with ES6. And we are going to look at them in the next class. Map, filter, these are example, find. And this theory, they work with array. We also have reduce. Map, filter, find, reduce. We're going to look at them. Maybe one or two of them in our next class. They are all HOF released with ES6 to make it easy for us to work with arrays, to make our life so easy. So instead of using loop for everything, running a for loop or your while loop for everything, you are going to be using this words. It makes your work so easy. Any question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's quickly revise before we go. At the beginning of the class, we talked about template later, and I told us that it's like another way of concatenating things. Then, I told us that you can have a variable, and maybe the value of this is, let's say, June. So instead of saying alert, my name is John, you can use your backtick and say alert, my name is, then use your dollar. Then I told us this is backtick. This is backtick, not single quotes. This is a backtick. So you can now put a here. And I told us that a value, you can put any valid JavaScript syntax. In fact, you can call on the function inside this dollar. Call on the function there. So this is it. Then it also allows us to, it copies things the way they are. Like you can also use, it's a inside this code. I can't go to the next one. I mean, I can't press enter, but backtick allows us to do that. So that is under template later. We also talked about HOF. HOF is a function that takes another function as parameter. So an example of HOF is this. We created an example together. Where is it? My phone. We created this. And I told us that this function takes in another function as parameter. So what you are sending as the value of this argument is called a callback. So you send callback to HOF. So that is HOF. And we looked at two inbuilt HOF in JavaScript. The first we looked at the set timeout, which expects the first parameter to be a function and the second parameter, or let me use the right word, it expects the first parameter to be a callback and the second parameter to be the time. So then another one is the set interval. The first parameter is also expected to be a callback, while the second parameter is expected to be the time. Note that both HOF and callbacks, both of them are functions, just that one is like the parent of the other. It's like HOF is the parent of callback. So HOF takes a callback as a parameter. Any question? Then, okay, maybe while working on HOF, you might also realize something, that HOF can still be, when a function returns another function, it's also referred to as HOF. Just that most of the HOFs we'll be looking at, well, most of them may or may not return a function. This is not returning any function. My function that we created, and it's still HOF. It's not returning any function. It's not, in fact, it's not returning anything, and it is still HOF. So HOF may or may not return a function, but HOF is a function that takes another function as parameter, but it may or may not return a function. So this is HOF. The fact that it's not returning a function does not make it less of an HOF. It's still HOF. Do you understand?
Yes.
In our next class, we are going to look at HOF that returns value, that returns something else. So now to our assignment. How far with the assignment I gave us that we've been working on? What's the progress? Let me stop recording so that we can discuss. You can be so free to discuss.